This video is actually going to be a combined look at Jason Pierre-Paul and Odafe Oweh's play, focusing on Week 13 and Week 14 in a half-hearted or maybe 50-60% attempt to answer the question, where is Odafe Oweh? And when I say that, I mean the production, the impact, and to a lesser extent, the snap counts. I would be concerned as a Ravens fan about the snap counts trending down with a peak in the 50s and 60s for the first 5 weeks of the season. Now we know that the Ravens picked up JPP, and his first game was in Week 4 against Buffalo. We now have Tyus Bowser back. Justin Houston has been healthy for a while. We haven't gotten that crazy, sack production out of Houston recently, but he's a home run hitter. We know those things they'll ebb and flow. Primarily as a fan base, we're concerned about Odafe Oweh. We do have 2 sacks on the season, don't get me wrong. And there have been moments where he's made big plays. Last 2 weeks, like I said, less than 20 sacks, less than 20 snaps, 17 snaps against the Broncos, and then 9 special teams snaps, which is somewhat new. If you look at his snap counts, that's his season high for this year. And then this past week against the Steelers, 19 snaps on defense, 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Meanwhile, JPP, who is 33 years old, and he's going to turn 34 in about 2 weeks. We're getting great production out of him, if you ask me. And the film that I'm going to show you tonight, I think, supports that. You really don't need me to say much when you're watching the film, particularly against the run. Fantastic athlete. Technique-wise, against the run, are there some times where he's a little off balance or the right tackle takes advantage of him on the initial punch? Yes, but he's able to redirect, and a great signing, a really great signing, truly great signing, if you ask me. But last 4 weeks for JPP, 33 snaps against Carolina. He had a sack, 2 tackles, the interception, and then another pass defensed. Didn't do anything, didn't record any statistical contributions against Jacksonville. Against Denver, 22 snaps, 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. And then this past week against Pittsburgh, they have him for 4 tackles. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to show you 5 in this video. So what's happened to Odafe Oweh? I'm going to be honest with you. He's getting outplayed right now. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, I know that when people are asking about Oweh, they're looking for, what's he doing wrong? In some cases, I think there's some things that he is doing wrong. I think just the opportunities that are out there for him, he's not taking advantage of them, and JPP is. And consequently, JPP's on the field a lot more, at least recently. All right, here's his most recent sack, his being Oweh's. And he's lined up really wide, getting chipped by this tight end first, and then dealing with the tackle, just pushing the tackle back into Russell Wilson's lap. This is really a sack that is born out of Justin Houston's pressure from the left side of the offensive line, flushing Russell Wilson out. And to a lesser extent, you've got pressure coming from 2 other guys on the left side as well, one of whom is Calais Campbell, that just basically flush him into Odafe Oweh. But hey, that's how sacks work, right? Sometimes Justin Houston gets a sack that someone else flushed him into, so good for him. We have not, you can't discount it. It's a sack, it counts. Same view, all 22 from week 13. Oweh up top, like I said. We're faking the blitz. Like, we have all 4 edge rushers on the field. All 4 of our primary edge rushers, and then Calais. And then we drop Bowser out of there. He orients himself to the bunch side in case there's a crosser. And then Roquan Smith is now going to be the blitzer. And he, I believe, is just running a pick on Calais Campbell's man. Executes it perfectly. Doesn't really cause the sack, but at least causes Russell Wilson to slide out to his right, and Oweh gets the sack. All right, pretty much run plays from here on out after this one. This is Week 13 against the Broncos. I showed this from both angles. We're dropping 8. We're rushing 3 and dropping 8. And this is out in the flats to the boundary. JPP is making a tackle on Latavius Murray out in space. He's 33 years old. I feel like he's getting in really good shape right now and becoming a better player than we saw earlier in the year. We'll kind of jump back and forth a little bit between film from Week 13 and then film against the Steelers, to be honest with you. This is one where I like what Oweh does with the right tackle. Holds his ground, anchors down, one arm, frames up the right tackle, and then is able to redirect and get involved in the play. I think it give you all the all-22 and the end zone angle of this one. You can see it's a mess in there. There's multiple guys fighting. But Oweh is able to stand his ground against that right tackle, who I thought we had pretty good success against in a lot of situations. Now, you'll see twice when that right tackle's initial punch is going to break the posture of JPP, who then redirects and makes the play. Same play, all-22 angle. Looks like it's supposed to be split zone, and we just muddy everything up on the inside. We've also got Peters in the backfield to be a force player when Harris tries to jump this back to the outside. So consequently, he's forced back inside where Oweh is able to finish him off and make the tackle. I feel like he's offering us something. He's just not offering us enough that fans we think justifies the first round pick that he was, where he was selected. All right, some more run plays. These are generally going to be JPP from here on out. I think he's playing at an extremely high level against the run, particularly when he's dealing with tight ends. Absolute mismatches. Guys are unable to execute their assignment because JPP is so violent with his hands and able to redirect. His lower body doesn't always look in 100% sync with his upper body, don't get me wrong, but he's a big man with long arms. And he's extremely athletic for being 33 years old. I think this was a great signing, extremely underrated, one that in the playoffs may really bear fruit. You're talking about a guy who has had big moments in the playoffs and played in a lot of big games. And here so far in the last 2 weeks, at least the film I'm showing you, I feel like he's a dominant run defender. I understand that we have great run defenders across this front. I'm telling you, I think JPP's standing as a run defender is better than he's getting credit for. And I'm showing you the film to support that. It's not just my opinion throwing it out there. JPP is balling against the run. I love this. When he's in this stance right here, I think he plays even better at an angle. Now his posture gets broken a little bit by the right tackle, but he redirects. That's what you want an athlete to do on defense, is be able to play through contact, redirect. His feet are pretty big steps, if you ask me, once he makes contact here. See how big those steps are? And then he's able to redirect. So, yes, it's a negative that the steps were so big that it caused him to be off balance. The right tackle's punch is part of it. But then, if you ask me, it almost makes it even more impressive that he's able to redirect after those two big gather steps and getting off balance while dealing with a starting right tackle in the NFL. I'm more impressed with JPP the more I see him. You can probably hear it in my voice. Same play, end zone angle, by the way. I think it's a 2-yard gain. It's not like there's huge seams in the gaps that he's responsible for. And, oh, by the way, he's a C-gap player here. So he's responsible for this space out here. He's not responsible for this B-gap, which is where the ball goes. And then he redirects in there and makes the tackle. You can say, oh, he ends up upfield a little bit. Man, Trey Hendrickson, who's one of my favorite players that's not on the Ravens, Trey Hendrickson on run at him, he's getting upfield and forcing that ball inside. There's a lot of edge players that get upfield a yard and a half further than JPP does on some of the run plays I see. So, to my mind, he's a technician. He plays tactically. I'm not sure I like him in a stand-up angled stance like this. When he was in that stand-up flat stance with a tight end, I really liked that better. But I understand, you want to attack with the pass rush from this angled stance. I get it. Again, knocked off balance a little bit by that right tackle, in my opinion. It's the same punch by the right tackle. Punch with the inside hand, the left hand. But who else is there? And I think this is coordinated, by the way. I do believe that part of this is coordinated. I will show it to you and try to prove it to you from the end zone angle. Coordinated in terms of JPP staying in that outside gap. You're going to see in a moment, you're going to see Kyle Hamilton run through here, trying to get through the B gap on motion away. So motion's going this way. I think we're trying to run Kyle Hamilton through this B gap, and then we just basically run ourselves into the blocking scheme because everybody's stepping this way for the Steelers. So we run ourselves into the scheme, And Harris is able to go through, I think, the A gap. So again, JPP's a C gap player. Now, I don't think he's playing it great. Here's the center, A gap, guard, B gap. And then this is JPP's gap, C gap. Watch where the ball goes. And then see who makes the tackle. Actually goes A gap, other side. And JPP's the guy that makes the tackle. And I don't think he's playing it particularly well, particularly clean. I think he can play it better. That's the second time that I've seen that swat work by that right tackle. 7-yard gain, JPP is the first guy to make contact. You tell me if you're as impressed by him. To answer the question, where is Odafe Oweh? He's on the sideline more. I mean, we have Tyus Bowser. We have Houston for pass rush situations. We have JPP. When he's in this stance, this balanced stance, there is just no way these tight ends can block him. They're not capable of doing it. They're not. He rides the tight end down the line. It's easy. And then, of course, we've got two inside linebackers that basically exchange this. Queen ends up here. Roquan sits on the front side and then jumps back to the other side. So they're basically Xing it, not by design, but just by the cutback of the running back. That's just how good they are together. And JPP's there. He's a top of the food chain run defender for the downs he's on the field, for the snaps he's on the field right now. I don't know what that means in terms of where he's ranked, all that shit. I don't care. I show you the film, and the film, I think, supports the fact that against these guys, in this flat stance against these tight ends, it's an absolute mismatch. When people go 11 personnel and they keep the tight end attached to the formation, either in a three-point stance or off the line with his feet back behind the tackle in a slot position, I think JPP should be in a head-up, flat stance, either standing up or in a three-point stance like this, facing right at them, nose to nose, and kicking their ass. And I think he does it 9 times out of 10 on run plays. That's how strongly I feel about it. And how does that relate to Oweh? I think it just leaves him as the odd man out right now. I do not see the same level of consistency from Oweh. I don't see the same level of redirect from him. Now, they're both on the field right here. Najee Harris is trying to bounce it outside because there's nothing there initially. You got the H-back tight end inserting across behind the O-line. Roquan's going to step it up. Harris is going to bounce it back out here. JPP holds his gap, which is C gap, and pushes the right tackle down about 2.25 yards. I really cannot sit here and justify Oweh playing 35 snaps when JPP has given us this. I'm not sure that it was the plan for Oweh to play less than 20 snaps. I don't think it was. I think the plan was for Oweh to play 40, 45 snaps a game with, Bowser, Houston, Dalen Hayes, some of the other guys, that were brought in. And now JPP has come in and given us reps that look like the JPP from the year the Bucs won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll say it. It does. So, this is the third time that I've gone this route or this path. I think that right now we're more effective when JPP's on the field. If we're just doing a direct comparison between JPP and Odafe Oweh, that could change. Maybe a light bulb goes off in Oweh. Maybe the Ravens figure out he's better playing from his left side, a right-handed stance. Some guys are better playing from the defense's left, and some guys are better playing from the defense's right. It all depends on their handedness, their preference. Sometimes it's, which eye is dominant, etc. Who knows? Do I think that Odafe Oweh is a bust? Hell no. I don't even talk like that anyway. I don't look at 23-year-old dudes as a bust who have made plays like that one he just made there, or plays that he made last year against the Chiefs. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. Where is Oweh? He's there. He's not taking advantage of the larger percentage of opportunities that are out there for him in terms of snap counts, and so his snap counts have been reduced. Conversely, you have an older veteran, JPP, who appears to be taking advantage of a larger percentage of the opportunities he's been given. He appears to be making more plays on the snaps he's on the field, so the Ravens have increased his snaps and decreased Oweh's. There's nothing personal about me making that observation. It's disappointing for for us as Ravens fans because he's a first-round pick. It's disappointing for Oweh, for him personally, because he wants to get out there. He wants to produce. He wants to contribute. Overall, for a Ravens team and fan this year, like, I'm able to separate my personal feelings from it. Do I want Oweh to have 10 sacks? Yes. Do I want Oweh to be a superstar? Absolutely. But that's not happening right now because he doesn't appear to be as consistent as this super freak, old freak football player named JPP, who burst upon the scene with the Giants, years ago, and has now, gotten himself in a position where he could possibly be in the playoffs again and make an impact. JPP has seen it all, done it all, and right now that looks like the better option for the Ravens in terms of being on the field a larger percentage of the time. Let me look at the percent. Last week, JPP 62% of the snaps. Week before that, 42%. Prior 2 weeks, 58 and 57. Oweh percentage, this is in reverse, 35% of the snaps, 32%, 40 and 40. So there's clearly been a decrease in the snap count, and I think it's just the Ravens coaching staff recognizing one guy's playing better than the other. Does that mean that Oweh's not going to be a good player for a long time in this league? No, not what it means. It just means right now he's not stacking up to JPP, and I think the film shows that. You really didn't need me to go into it 4 times now to explain it. But that's how I feel about it, and I think the film backs me up. It brings me no pleasure to state it in that way because I'm not trying to, and none of us are trying to draw division between players on our team, obviously. But I think there's a direct correlation between Bowser's return and then JPP improving his play that has reduced Oweh's snaps. I think you could even see his snap. It wouldn't surprise me if his snap count is reduced even more against the Browns. Because I think when we roll out Bowser and JPP as edge defenders against this run attack, that puts us in the best position. I really do. I think it puts us in the best position right now to try to slow down or stop this Browns rushing game. It's going to be a clash of titans between the Browns rushing game and our run defense. And it seems like right now it's possible that JPP is just a better option. Let me know what you think of those thoughts and the way I presented them, hopefully respectfully, in the comment section. And then also, too, if you think I missed any elements, obviously I wasn't showing every play from the Steelers. I think I showed you guys a total of, looks like 16 plays. So try to bring you, at least 1 play per minute. Checking in here just under 1 play per minute. So let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. And if you enjoyed it, enjoy the content, and enjoy the way I break down the film, please consider sharing this on social media to help the video get more reach.